I'm here with Jose Gonzalez, who's 15-0, super bantamweight boxer. Jose, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
So, a few questions here. I'm curious. You're a young guy. You're 24 years old, but I read that you didn't start boxing until about 16. What eventually got you into the sport?
Just watching my family. My cousin Roman, my other cousin Cristofer, my dad, and I was just around a lot of champions around the gym. So you know how I train out of Gleason's gym in Brooklyn. So when I was young, I would see like Zab Judah, Mike Tyson, and all these upcoming fighters and prospects and champions. And I will get so motivated, and I'll be like, all right, I want to fight too. I want to be up there. I want to have belts, and I want to be up there as a fighter too. So I got motivated, and I just started fighting.
I was reading that, again, obviously you have the boxing history with your family members, your father. Did you ever want to start doing it earlier, or did you consider doing it earlier, or was it something that you dabbled in and you just didn't really dedicate till later? How did that work out?
I started young. I started at the age of 5, but I didn't really start at like my amateur career like 15, 16. But I'll have like exhibitions like when I was young, or like I would do a lot of sparring. I would always be in the gym and train when I was young, but I never like really started like my career like amateur wise when I was like 15, 16.
Mm-hmm. I know that obviously you've got so many family members involved within it. That connection to Nicaragua. I'm curious, how often do you go back, and is that some place that you go to often? Because I read that sometimes you train there, if you train there with Rahman.
Yeah, I usually go out there and just see my cousins, and we train out there, like not just Roman, but like Cristofer, the Latigo Rosales, that he was a former world champion. I'll do camps out there with him, and it's great to do camps out there because it's hot. It's a hot weather, and you get to lose weight and lose weight faster, and in the air you get faster stamina out there and get to run more. It's not like New York, like it's always raining, always cold. The weather is always changing around, but out there is always, sunny and hot.
I know the history of the name Chocolatito. Obviously, Rahman has made it so famous, being an all-time great, and still doing it at 33 years old and looking fantastic. What's the origin of the name? If I read correctly, did it start with your father?
Yeah, the first Chocolatito was my father, and that name really, like, it goes back to like my grandfather, my uncles, but the first Chocolatito was my father. And but the first chocolate, the first name, the first like how it started was named Chocolate by my uncle. And it's a complicated story, but my father's the first Chocolatito, and then I got it from my father because I wanted it to have it because of my father. I put that name because of my father, Chocolatito. Yeah.
Kind of having that name, it seems like now it's kind of like a lineage thing, that if you're part of your family, you have to rock that name. You don't have a choice. It's kind of like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
As far as obviously having the family connections to your cousins, how close are you to Ron and Cristofer?
I'm really close to them. I'm always, speaking to them, saying, how they doing. If they need any help, any work, I'll go out there, help them out. They training camp, sparring. For when Roman fought with what's this guy's name? Uh, Roby Sign, I believe, the Filipino guy, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's a southpaw, so he needed some work for southpaw. So I went out there and I gave him work. because I'm a southpaw, and I'm always helping him out anyways. Or Cristofer, when Cristofer fought with Diego when he won his the world title when he fought in Japan, I was there helping him out for that title shot that he won. But I'm always helping my cousins, and we always helping each other out, and we always looking out for each other.
Having cousins that are world champions, and there you are, sparring with them and going in those rounds. How much confidence does that give you when you're able to hang with them and experience that when you go into the ring against another opponent?
It's amazing because that's high level work, and for to get to spar a cousin that's a 4-time world champion like my cousin Roman, and and he knows how to like work around the whole ring and know how to cut the ring and throw a lot of punches. And Cristofer, that he know how to move, and he's tall, and he know how to cut the ring too. It's amazing because I feel confident every time I get into a fight, and I know that this guy that I'm fighting is not better than my cousin because he's a 4-time world champion. Or he's not better than my other cousin that he was a former world champion. So I feel that confident every time I fight.
What are some of the most important lessons as a boxer that you've learned from your cousins? What would be maybe the one or two things that are most important to you that you've carried from them?
Um, what I could say is discipline. Like my cousins really like discipline, and they always work hard, and they always tell me if you work hard, and you're gonna see the results in the ring.
Hmm. Speaking about working hard, I know that you have an interesting backstory where you work part time as a clerk for the New York Stock Exchange. And correct me if I'm wrong. You work for the company that actually sponsors you, Trade Zero, correct?
Trade Zero, yeah.
So, kind of take me through your day. What does the average day for you look like?
So I wake up, and I go to the stock exchange. I work 9 to 12:31, and then I'll go to the gym, and I'll just train from there. So I work part time, and then I do my part time in the gym.
A lot of
But I'll
people.
do it only for
Oh,
sorry,
keep
but
sorry.
I'll
You
do
keep.
it three.
Mhm,
I'll work like 3 times in a week.
mhm.
So then the other days I'll just stick to the whole gym every day in the whole gym.
So, kind of thinking about two different worlds. You've got kind of this corporate, the center of money flowing and capitalism, and then you've got the boxing ring. Are there any similarities between the two, at least as far as kind of maybe the attitude that goes on in both realms?
It's a whole different world down there in the stock exchange, and you know, and it's kind of you can kind of relate like in being in the ring because you gotta stay focused, and you gotta you always gotta be alert and like what's happening, and if you see the market going down, the market going up, you gotta know what to do, buy or sell.
Hmm.
But it's amazing being down there to see people like I just love it. It's a whole different environment.
Now, I know that you've already had one fight in 2021. As far as plans for the rest of the year, how you see it shaping up? What would you like to see happen? And what would be your optimal 2021 going forward?
um well, I would like to fight like 5 more times in this whole year.
Mhm.
um I can see that that New York is finally opening up a little bit. So we'll see if we could get some shows in New York. That's where I want to fight, so I can have a little bit of all my fans come out.
Mhm.
But that's the plan, to fight like 5 more times this whole year.
Now, kind of one of the things, obviously, there's a big fight surrounding your cousin coming up, the rematch with Juan Francisco Estrada. Um, Using your kind of expert opinion, you're the insider, you've been in there in the ring with him. Um, Obviously, I think you think he's going to win. How do you see this fight playing out? What do you see kind of looking at the two of them and how that history has played out?
It's a for me it's a tough fight
Hmm.
it's a tough fight because, they're both in their peak, and they're both, know each other. They fought one time. So Estrada's coming in there, he knows how Roman's gonna come in there. My cousin's gonna come in there. He knows how he's gonna come. So it's gonna be a tough fight, but my cousin's gonna pull it off because he already knows him and he already beat him. So, and my cousin throws hella punches, and he's always 100% gonna give it all in the fight.
Hmm.
So I think he if he don't stop him in the 10th round, he's winning by decision.
Hmm. I like that. Good prediction. Um, Obviously, kind of looking at your cousin and talking about those lessons that you've learned. A few years back, couple losses in a row looked like, maybe things were going to be done. And he has this resurgence and he's just looked fantastic. Is there something in particular that he did differently or that you observed that he did differently that you maybe learned from that kind of got him back into this being a world champion?
Um, just his aggressiveness and keep applying pressure and just cutting out the ring. And he's just that's how he is. He's just a fighter that gives it all and 100%. That if he's not going out there to to kill, then that's not how he is. It's just that's how he's gonna give it at in all the fights. Just applying pressure and just give it all 100%.
Final question for me. Obviously, you being another Chocolatito, right? Uh, what could people expect from you when they see you? Are you the same style fighter, or are you more of a counter puncher type? How would you describe your brand of Chocolatito?
I'm uh I'm more of a counter puncher. I'm more of hit and don't get hit, but
Mhm.
I can still apply pressure and I still work inside. But I'm kind of both, but
Mhm.
I'm more of a counter puncher.
I hear you. Well, I hope sometime soon I get to see you in the ring. It would be even more fantastic if I could see you at MSG sometime. That would be the best case scenario. So, Jose, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing more of you, my man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.